Good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good morning to everybody. We will wait for 2 minutes so that other students could join and then we will start the session. So just wait for 2 minutes before we start the session. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody. So I think the most of the students has joined the session. So this is our second class on digital signal processing. And the last day we have introduced ourselves and we have introduced why we are going to learn digital signal processing. Am I audible? Everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any questions from the last class? Anything that you want to share or you want to tell that, sir, I want to tell or I have thinking this thing or any doubt that we have discussed in the last class?
No, sir.
Okay, so I think there is no doubt. So if
Sir.
there is, yes.
Sir, as you told in previous class, you discussed
Hello.
about the why we study this subject. So, sir, I was not present yesterday in the previous class. So, can you please tell in brief way?
Yes, I will tell you a recapitulations of that last day, what we have taught or what we are thinking, what we are going to teach or what we are going to study in this digital signal processing class. So we will have a recapitulations every day when we will start the new class. I will have a recapitulation session for 5 minutes and then we will go for our new chapter or new curriculum that we are going to study today. So let us share the screen, share the whiteboard so you can see it, the whiteboard well, and then we are going to study what we have studied in the last class, or what we have discussed in the last class. So in the last class, we have discussed about the digital signal processing and all that things. And we have decided that why we are going to understand the digital signal processing, or what is the actual need of learning the digital signal processing. So actually we learned this digital signal processing because we want to tell, or we want to think about our by default, if I tell, we want to tell about our digital signals, because digital signals are an important thing that we are going to learn. And our world, if I tell that our world is analog in domain. And when our world is an analog domain, we talk about this, that we have to communicate with the machine as well as the analog world. So machine is a digital signal or digital processor or digital machine by which we can discuss about this thing. And whenever we talk about the DSP or digital signal processing thing, in the digital signal processing, we know that we need a signal on which we are going to operate, and it is a processing of signals by digital system. And that is the thing actually. So if I think about the DSP system or basic components of DSP system, we can write here basic components of DSP. If I tell the basic components of DSP, what are the basic components of DSP are, then we will tell the first one. If I draw it, the first block that we are going to do is our input block, input signal. The signal is coming here. Let us name this is the input signal, and this is always be analog because the world belong analog. So input analog signal, first one. Can you see the painting? Can you see my writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
there is a ADC, analog to digital converter. After that, input signal, that is analog in domain. For analog signal, if you forgot, I tell you, analog signal can be differentiated into two categories. One is called continuous time signal, that is denoted by CT, and another is called discrete time signal, so DT. So this analog signal is now passed to analog and digital converter, and then we get a input digital signal. Input digital signal. Now this input digital signal is what happens. This input digital signal is now passed through a digital system. Now it is passed through a digital system. So this is the digital system. And this digital system gives the output that is in digital form. So it gives the output in digital form. So here comes the output, which is in digital form. Output digital signal. So when this output is coming in a digital form, I against use a digital to analog converter. Now, why the need of digital to analog converter? Because the output will be applicable for analog devices. The system is digital, but the world is analog. So here it is a DAC, DAC, and from this DAC, the output will come as an analog signal. So this is actually the basic components of a digital signal processing. We will take an analog signal, pass it through the analog to digital converter. Then we will take from the analog digital signal, the signal is converted to a input digital signal. This input digital signal will go to a digital system. Like if you think about the digital system, there are examples like personal computers, digital integrated circuits. Using digital integrated circuits, we have to design a system that is also applicable. Microprocessor, microcontroller. These are all types of digital systems. And after that, the output will go, and that output will be a output digital signal. But we need this output signal in our analog world because our world demands is analog. The signal we are talking about always analog. So I need a digital to analog converter for this. Now, why we need digital? This is very important because अगर हमारे पास एनालॉग सिग्नल है तो एनालॉग सिस्टम यूज कर हमारा आउटपुट अगर मिल जाता तो फायदा मतलब क्यों परेशानी होना है, क्योंकि मुझे एक एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्टर बनाना है, उसको फिर एक डिजिटल सिस्टम में डालना है, फिर उसका आउटपुट फिर आएगा डिजिटल, उसको फिर से मुझे डिजिटल टू एनालॉग कन्वर्ट करना है। तो इतना सारे काम क्यों करेंगे हम? इतने सारे काम करने की कोई जरूरत है? क्योंकि ये इसका फायदा नहीं होता है, क्योंकि मैंने दो कन्वर्टर यूज कर रहा है, एक एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्टर है, एक मेरा डिजिटल टू एनालॉग कन्वर्टर है, तो इसके लिए तो पैसा भी खर्च होता है। So why we will do this? Why we need digital? That is very important. That's why the question came. Why digital is better than analog? This question always came. अगर मैं साबित कर सकता हूं कि डिजिटल इज बेटर देन एनालॉग तो फिर मेरा काम हो गया, इसीलिए मैं कर रहा हूं. So that is the advantages of digital system over analog system. So actually the real world signals are analog, and only for processing by digital system the signal are converted to the digital. So for conversion of digital from analog to digital, for conversion of signals from analog to digital, an analog to digital converter is employed. The various steps in analog to digital conversion process are sampling and quantization for analog signals, and then converting the quantized samples to suitable binary codes. We do the digital. The digital signal are in the form of binary codes and fed to the digital system for processing. And after processing, it generates the output digital signal in the form of binary codes. The output analog signal is constructed from the output binary codes using a digital to analog converter. So this is the whole process. The processing of signals. What is the processing of signals? Why we tell this is a processing of signals? Actually, that is nothing but basically spectrum analysis to determine the various frequency components of the signal. And if I determine the various frequency component of the signal, we can filter the signal to extract our required frequency component of the signal. This is very important. Please understand it again, what I'm telling. What is processing of signal? Actually, the processing of signal is nothing but to spectrally analyze each and every frequency component of the signal. So if I spectrally analyze each and every frequency component of the signal, I can choose the required frequency component from that signal. So if I choose our required frequency, that is our desired output. What is our output? That is desired by me, that is required by me. So if I choose which are the frequency component I need and which are the frequency component I do not need, I will design a filter and I will process that filter such a way that that frequency which I not need is being passed, is being stopped, and which frequency I need is being passed. So actually digital signal processing is nothing but basically to design a filter. And that is the most important thing. Which other frequency component is needed for our experiment or needed as an output, we will pick and choose that only frequency component. So by spectrum analysis, we are going to determine the various frequency components of the signal. And by using a filtering technique, the signal is extracted to the required frequency component of the signal. And the digital system can be specifically designed programmable hardware of DCC. That means if I change the program, the system will change. So that is an advantage. So here are some of the advantages of digital signal processing. So we will start here our new day class, advantages of digital signal processing. That means why digital is better than analog. So up to this, I do the precapitulation. So anybody, any problem on the precapitulation, please tell me. I'm giving you 2 minutes. सबको समझ में आया जो मैं बोलना चाहता हूं?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now advantages of DSP or digital signal processing. So first advance, the digital hardware are compact, reliable, less expensive, and programmable. So this is the first point of advantages. We will use a digital hardware, and digital hardware are compact. They are reliable. That means error free. Error free means I am not telling 100%, but it is more reliable than analog devices. Less expensive. We know the IC integrated circuits used for designing the digital hardware is very much very lowest cost. If you think of an analog device compared to a digital device or digital system, digital hardware, then it is less expensive, and that is programmable. So you think of that as such a way that if I want to buy a CRO, what is the cost of a CRO? It is an analog device. Plain CRO, you know, the plain CRO can cost about 30,000 to 25,000 to 30,000 nowadays. And look at that, nowadays you can buy a digital hardware like think of your mobile phone. Mobile phone is a very simple example of a digital signal processor. Inbuilt, there is a DSP chip. So today you can buy 5,000 to 6,000 mobile phone. So you can see I am giving a larger extent example, but I am telling that thing. If you go and buy a DSP processor, it will come in 5,000 to 10,000. Whereas if you buy a CRO in the lab, it will cost you 30,000 to 25,000. So feel the difference. An analog device is much costlier, though this CRO is also a part of a digital. Something is digital there also. We are using some digital storage oscilloscope, and that are costly. But I'm not telling about that. But actually, analog device, if I think of a analog device, it is a little bit costly than the digital one, because it is batch fabricated. If you have learned VLSI, you can see that this batch fabricated. So batch fabrication will cost, has a cost reduction, and the laboratory, if you done the laboratory experiment, you will see the components in electronics lab is very less expensive. Like for a register, if you buy a register, I think 10 paisa to 5 paisa, 10 to 30 to 40 register will come. A bulk of registers, a box of register will cost you 10 rupees to 50 rupees. So the device that is used, or the components that are used to design a digital hardware, is very much less costly. That's why the digital hardware are less expensive. And the last point that is very much important, for an analog device, you cannot program the analog device. Analog device will do only one particular work in a single lifetime. But if you want to change or reprogram the algorithm or the program, the microprocessor will, sometimes it will add, sometimes it will multiply, sometimes it will do the carry. You know the microprocessor. So one microprocessor chip can do different if you just change the count. So that is what I told you. Somebody is giving something chat. My voice is not clear.
So sometimes clear, sometimes not clear.
That is, I think, due to the network issue, I think. So when it is not clear, please tell me, I will repeat it again. We cannot deal with the network issue. So number 2 is, since the DSP system are programmable, the performance of the system can be easily upgraded. Modified. Reconfigurable. Actually, this point is that DSP processors are reconfigurable. Any digital hardware is reconfigurable. That means we can reconfigure, but analog devices are not reconfigurable. So that is the point here, nothing else. We know every digital hardware is a reconfigurable hardware. That is the advantage of the reconfigurations. And it can be modified, it can be upgraded, but an analog device cannot be modified, cannot be upgraded. So that is a good point. And number 3 point is that I'm just mentioning the important points, okay? By employing high speed sophisticated digital hardware, sophisticated digital hardware higher precision can be achieved in processing of signals. In processing of signals. So by employing high speed, we can achieve, for sophisticated digital hardware, higher precision can be achieved in processing of signals. So precision, if we if we use a sophisticated digital hardware and if we give the high speed to the device, we can get higher precision in processing of signals. So that is an advantage. That is always be an advantage.
Sir, what is the meaning of sophisticated digital hardware?
Sophisticated digital hardware means high-end hardware. High-end means sophisticated materials are what? That are high-end materials. Like if we think of a TSMC 663750 DSP processor, that is a sophisticated device. Sophisticated means high-end device. Sophisticated devices are that devices, electronics devices, which have a strong electromagnetic field. That's why whenever in your home, if you have a fridge, if you have AC, if you have a microwave, if you have a laptop, they are sophisticated devices because they have a strong electromagnetic field. So if you use this sophisticated device, whenever there is a lightning in your area, they are called to be plugged off. Okay, but if you use a mixer grinder at that time when there is a lightning, it is not required to be plugged off because it is not so sophisticated. Sophisticated means that have a high precision things, that is very sensitive. We have to use stabilizer or like that because a small fluctuating of current can on the device. These sophisticated material have a high electromagnetic field. That's why they have a high precisions. They have a high means efficiency. Efficiency factor of these devices are high. If we go for the higher efficiency, the materials of electronics becomes more sophisticated. like a transformer that is used in an electrical circuit is not much a sophisticated machine than your mobile phone. Your mobile phone is much more sophisticated than a hardware transformer. So that is the meaning of sophisticated. I am given the example. I think you will get a view about the sophisticated things. Okay. That is more precision, more accuracy for the sophisticated materials. Okay, last point of advantages of DSP. Just give me a minute. So I am giving you giving this last point. Just to give me a minute. Just a second. Yes, I'm sharing the screen again. Sorry for the disturbance. So what I'm telling that the last point, that is the fourth point, advantages of DSP. Fourth point is that the digital signals can be permanently stored in magnetic media. So that they can be not, they are transportable, sorry, transportable and can be processed in non-real time. Non-real time or offline. This is a very important one. What I am telling, that digital signals can be permanently stored in magnetic medium. So you can use USB drive, you can do hard drive, you can do flash drive, you can use floppy drive, anything, any magnetic media, you can write it in CD for digital devices. So you can use the magnetic media to store the values or store the signals. So they can be transformed from one system to another system. That is very much useful. For an analog device, we cannot store the signals. If we think of a CRO, if I want to find out the ripple factor for a particular clipper or clamper circuit or a full wave and a half wave rectifier, I cannot store the values. I have to always on it. I have to do the circuit operation in the real time, and then I have to ask somebody to see that this is the values. When you off the circuit, it is everything is off. You have to again construct it, again reconstruct it, and again find out the output. But for a digital signal, we can store the values in any digital media or any magnetic disk. So if I store that value, what will happen? In real time, if I have some problem with operating or processing of the signals, I can do in off time also. That means whenever I am free, whenever I need some time, I can do it. If I get the signal always intact in my digital media, I can use it or I can do experiment anytime. So it can be used or it can be done by any time. That is the real, non-real time or offline time. Another is transportable. I can take it from here to there and do the same experiment on that particular signal because my signal is not changing. I'm getting the intact of the signal. Or I can use another device, upgraded device. If I thinking this device is not enough for my precision or for my accuracy, I can use another type of device. So that is a very much important thing. So that's why we use the digital signals or digital signal processing. That's why we can cope with the extra payment of building an analog to digital converter and a digital to analog converter in the circuit. We can cope with that because what are the advantages we are getting? We can pay something for extra if I get a more advantage. Like the combo offer, if I go to the cinema hall and I got a pizza with a cold drinks, I will get for 120 rupees and I take that pizza for 100 rupees. I will opt for the two. So like this, it is better to have some invest for ADC and DSC if I get more precision and more accuracy, and these are all the advantages. So that is why digital is better than analog. Only 5 minutes left, Nutan Kumari. Why you are coming in? I don't know. So that is all from here. I think that is the today's class, and everybody, if you have any doubt or any like the thing, then ask me. It is a doubt clearing time. And I will ask some students like Nutan Kumari has joined now. I will ask one thing that this class is starting from, I think, 10:20 and it is now 11:10. That is the end of this class. So if you fail to join in the proper time, please not join because